Respect and honor for the truth are the very foundation of morality. Your entire mindset and ethics are built on that foundation. If you lack respect or feelings, then there's really no difference between you and a wild beast. So today, I'm bringing you the story of the Spanish horror flick Malasana 32. Before we dive in, let me tell you this is based on a true story. After the Olmedo family moved from their village to this house at Malasana 32 in Madrid, some truly freakish things happened to them. And today's video is all about that. The year is 1972. Two kids were playing marbles in a Madrid home. During the game, one marble rolls into the front room. At first, nobody wants to go in there to get it, because entering that room is strictly forbidden. But still, one of them goes inside and cracks open the door. He sees someone sitting in a chair in the dim light, and the marble was lying right next to it. The kid gathered his courage and somehow went to grab the marble. Suddenly, the woman in the chair turned around toward him. The kid was terrified and bolted from the room. Fast forward 4 years to 1976. A family from a small town was moving into that very same house. The place is called Malasana 32. The family includes the husband and wife, Manolo and Candela. Their 3 kids are Raphael, Amparo, and Pepe. Also, their grandfather Fermin was with them. Before heading inside, he looked up at the upstairs window. He says, "This room isn't good. I can feel a presence of negative energy here." But nobody really listens to him. Amparo was struggling the most with the move, because she had to come here leaving her boyfriend so far away. On top of that, the pressure of her flight attendant training was weighing on her. Pepe, however, found a silver lining in this house, because he could see a beautiful girl in the house across the street. So everyone cleaned up the place and unpacked their things. It takes forever to get everything done, because the belongings of the previous tenants were still scattered everywhere. Everyone moves into their own rooms. Raphael and Grandpa share a room. But when Amparo went to the room at night, she didn't see Grandpa. While she went out to look for him, the door suddenly slammed shut. Raphael got locked inside. Just then, Amparo suddenly heard Raphael scream. Amparo looked down and saw someone's demonic feet inside the room. Seeing this, Amparo let out a blood-curdling scream. The parents rushed upstairs. They managed to force the door open. She sees Raphael sitting on the edge of the window, legs hanging out, facing the street. Manolo tiptoed toward him. He somehow manages to save him. Even though something this twisted happened on the first day, they pushed it aside. They got busy with work because of the pressure to make ends meet. Manolo is a mechanic by trade, and his wife works in sales. Back home, Amparo was looking after her grandpa and her brother. Along with that, she was pushing through her training to be a flight attendant. In the middle of all this, Amparo heard noises from the kitchen. She came in and saw Raphael talking to himself. And just then, Grandpa saw someone from behind and walked forward. Amparo noticed and followed Grandpa. A marble fell right in front of Raphael. Now, while going to pick it up, Raphael reached that same room from the start of the movie, where that woman was sitting in the chair. Before Raphael could process anything, the TV in there suddenly flickered on. It started playing cartoons. Within a second, it changed. A creepy cartoon character started talking directly to Raphael. It was saying, "Do you want to play with me? Then come meet my friend right now. We'll have so much fun together." As soon as Raphael saw this, he turned off the TV in terror. The chair behind him suddenly started rocking, and the next moment, 2 hands burst out of the TV. They grabbed Raphael by the face and dragged him inside. Meanwhile, Amparo found Grandpa. He just kept repeating the same thing. He says someone is in this house, and that person won't let us stay. Amparo calmed him down and brought him to the room. She sees Raphael is gone. With no other choice, she called the cops. They started the investigation, and Candela, Manolo, and Pepe head outside to look for Raphael. Just then, the house phone rang. Amparo picked it up. She heard Raphael's desperate cries for help from the other end. Amparo was scared out of her mind. But here's the kicker, the phone line was cut a long time ago. So how did the call even come through? And just then, the call cut out. Raphael's scream echoed from inside that front room which had been boarded up for years. Even after breaking down the door and getting inside, Raphael isn't there. But then Amparo's gaze shifts toward the window curtain. It looked like Raphael was standing behind it. So she quickly ripped the curtain aside. It wasn't Raphael. Instead, that old woman grabbed her hand. She screamed in absolute terror. The parents rushed in and calmed her down and took her inside. Naturally, this incident messed with everyone in the house. Because earlier at the office, while meeting a girl named Lola, Lola started whistling as soon as she saw her for some weird reason. See, Lola couldn't talk, so she used a whistle to communicate. Then Lola's mother came and told Candela to keep an eye on her kids. After saying this, she handed over a prayer book. She says this will protect you from negative energy. So the next day, Amparo found the phone number of a woman named Susanna in the house phone directory. She calls her from a phone booth. She thought maybe she was the previous owner. But as soon as Amparo mentioned the address was Malasana 32, Susanna hung up on her. Meanwhile, things were going well between Pepe and the girl across the street. But strangely, the girl hasn't shown up at the window since their first day there. She only talks through letters, which were sent using a rope tied across. She writes, "My name is Clara, and I know your brother is safe." Pepe asks, "How do you know?" The reply comes, "Meet me in the basement in 20 minutes. Now, while going to meet her, as soon as Clara appeared, that old woman dragged Pepe into the darkness from behind. But he somehow broke free and ran for it. On the other hand, Amparo started feeling sick. After throwing up in the bathroom, she noticed a weird, long handprint on her stomach. But she ignored it, thinking it was just a coincidence. Amparo realizes she's pregnant by her boyfriend. Now, as she's about to enter the kitchen, she sees an old woman through the glass in the door. But when she opened the door, she saw her grandpa instead of the woman. Felt so wrong. As soon as she closed the door again, that old woman was back in Grandpa's place. Gathering her courage, she went inside one more time. Grandpa spoke up in Raphael's voice, "Pick up the phone." And just then, the telephone nearby started ringing. Amparo answers. The instruction tells her to go toward the clock in the front room. Amparo went over and heard Raphael's voice coming from inside it. Amparo smashed the clock glass and pulled Raphael out. When the doctor came that evening, he checked Raphael. He says, "He's in shock. So everyone needs to watch him closely." That night, while Candela was sleeping with Raphael, she saw an old woman in the corner of the wall. But she vanished in an instant. Candela screamed in fear. Meanwhile, Amparo is about to take poison, because she felt like her career was finished. And she couldn't survive with a baby anyway. But as she reached for the poison, the lights went out. The glass fell from her hand. Honestly, since that night, something was happening to every member of this family. On the other hand, Pepe started getting tons of letters. All they said was, "You are mine." And one day Manolo saw that terrifying old woman in the room. He was scared to death. He got his family out of the house. He spent that night in a hotel. As soon as it was morning, he didn't waste a second. He went to the bank to sell the house and settle the loan. But the manager says they have to pay off the entire house loan within a specific time. And until then, they have to stay in that house. Everything was falling apart. To make things worse, Candela lost her job. Before leaving, she got Lola's address and went to her house. She learned from Lola's mother that Lola has a gift for seeing spirits. So, after hearing the whole story from Candela, the mother and daughter agreed to help. They come to Malisana 32. At this moment, only Amparo wasn't home, because she went to meet Susanna. Arriving at her house, she sees Susanna is an old woman. As soon as she saw her, she started grilling her with questions about the family. After hearing everything, Susanna suddenly says, "The little kid will be lost from your house very soon." Hearing this, Amparo told her about everything happening in the house. Susanna went to get some water. She didn't come back for a long time. Meanwhile, Amparo started searching the room. She found an album with a photo of a woman. It was an exact match for the photo hanging on the wall at her house. In the album, there were several photos and one of a boy. He looked exactly like the woman on the wall. Then Susanna came back and said, "That's not me, that's Clara." Meaning Pepe had been talking to her through letters this whole time. But how is that possible? Susanna says, "The spirit in your house is none other than Clara. She's my own sister, but she was born a boy, not a girl." Meaning the boy in the album was actually Clara. See, even though Clara was a boy, she was feminine by nature. She acted like a girl, wore dresses, everything. She wanted to be a mother. Once she was caught in a compromising position with a boy in the basement. Her parents couldn't accept it. That's when the torture started. They used to lock Clara inside that clock as punishment. The same place Raphael was rescued from. Over time, Clara completely transitioned into a woman. Her parents eventually committed suicide out of shame. Because of that, Susanna blamed Clara for their parents' death. She cut her out of her life entirely. Actually, there were 2 houses at Malisana 32. Susanna lived in one, and Clara in the other. Clara tried to contact Susanna many times because she was so lonely, but Susanna never forgave her. Loneliness, pain, and isolation eventually destroyed Clara. But her wish to be a mother never died. That's why her spirit is still searching for a baby in that house. And that's why she targeted Raphael first, but once she found out Amparo was pregnant, Amparo became the target. After hearing the story, Amparo was furious at Susanna, and she felt so much sympathy for Clara. In her eyes, when Clara needed her family the most, they were the ones who abandoned her. Is being transgender really such a sin? Clara was neglected her whole life because of her gender. She was tortured not just by society, but by her own sister and parents. They kept a mother away from her child. Meanwhile, while Lola tried to connect with Clara, Clara possessed her instead. And right then, the phone suddenly rang. As soon as the call was picked up, a freezing wind started blowing through the room. Clara tossed and threw every family member aside. Finally, it was down to Lola's mother and Raphael. As Clara went to kill Raphael, Amparo stepped in just in time. She apologized and told her, "What happened to you is so tragic. I understand your pain." Hearing this, Clara calmed down at first. But the rage built up over all those years was too much. She ignored it all and moved to kill Raphael. Amparo took a shard of broken glass and stabbed her own stomach, because she knew Clara wanted the baby inside her. Clara started screaming. Taking the chance, Manolo grabbed the possessed Lola and jumped through the window. Manolo died, but because Lola fell on top of him, she survived. After this, Clara left Lola's body. A few days later, Amparo's family is shown. They were leaving the house for good. See, Manolo had insurance. After his death, the family got a huge payout. They paid off the loan and went back to their old house. Now, once more, the chair in that room at Malasana 32 is shown moving. Meaning, Clara was still waiting in that house for a child. And with that, the movie ends. So guys, what did you think of today's story? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button. And for those new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon.